Hello and welcome to the JISH Learn English Podcast. I am Shaylin. Have you ever listened to someone speaking English and thought, why is this so difficult to understand? Maybe you watch an English movie and the actors seem to speak very fast. Maybe you listen carefully, but the words still sound unclear. If this happens to you, please do not worry. You are not alone. Many English learners feel the same way. Listening is often the most challenging skill when learning a new language. Reading is easier because you can see the words, but listening happens very quickly, and the words disappear as soon as they are spoken. The good news is that listening is a skill you can improve with the right practice. In today's lesson, I will explain why English listening feels difficult, and I will also give you simple and powerful tips that will help you understand spoken English more easily and more confidently. First, let us understand why listening can feel difficult. One reason is that English words are not always pronounced exactly the way they are written. English spelling and pronunciation are not always the same. For example, some words have silent letters. Think about the word island. We write the letter S, but we do not pronounce it. The word muscle also has a silent letter C. Because of this, learners sometimes expect to hear sounds that are not actually spoken. This difference between reading and hearing can make listening very confusing, especially at the beginning of your English journey. Another reason listening is difficult is that native speakers often connect their words together when they speak. In natural conversation, people do not pronounce every word slowly and clearly. Instead, the sounds flow together. For example, the sentence, "Did you finish your homework?" often sounds more like, "Dja finish your homework?" And the sentence, "What do you want to do?" can sound more like, "What do you want to do?" When words connect like this, the sentence can sound very different from the written form. This is completely normal in spoken English, but it can surprise learners who expect every word to sound separate. The third reason is something very simple. Many learners do not practice listening enough. Students often spend a lot of time reading grammar or studying vocabulary, but they do not listen to English regularly. However, listening is the foundation of language learning. Think about how babies learn their first language. They listen for many months before they start speaking or reading. Listening trains the brain to recognize sounds, rhythm, and pronunciation. Now that we understand the challenges, let us talk about how you can improve your English listening skills. The first tip is to listen to English every day, even if it is only for a short time. Consistency is more important than long study sessions. Listening for 10 or 15 minutes every day is much more effective than listening for 2 hours only once a week. You can listen while doing simple daily activities. For example, you can listen to English while walking, cooking, cleaning your room, or traveling on a bus or train. When English becomes a small part of your daily routine, your ears slowly become more familiar with the sounds of the language. Over time, you will notice that understanding becomes easier. The second tip is to choose listening material that is interesting to you. Learning becomes much easier when the topic is something you enjoy. For example, if you like cooking, you can watch English videos about recipes. If you enjoy sports, you can listen to podcasts that talk about soccer or basketball. When you already understand the topic, your brain can guess the meaning of new words more easily. This makes listening practice feel natural instead of stressful. The third tip is to practice listening in the right way. Many learners make the same mistake. They listen once, they don't understand everything, and then they feel frustrated. But effective listening practice usually requires listening more than one time. Here's a simple method you can try. The first time you listen, just focus on the general idea. Do not try to understand every word. Simply ask yourself, what is the topic, or what is happening in this conversation? The second time you listen, try to notice more details. Maybe you understand new words or important information that you missed before. Finally, the third time you listen, you can check the transcript or subtitles. This helps you see the exact words and confirm your understanding. This step-by-step listening process helps your brain move from general understanding to deeper understanding. Another important tip is to focus on key words instead of every word. Many learners believe they must understand every single word to understand a sentence, but this is not true. In real communication, the most important information usually comes from a few key words. For example, imagine someone says, "This morning I stopped at the bakery to buy fresh bread." Even if you only hear the words morning, bakery, and bread, you can still understand the main idea. So when you listen, try to relax and focus on the important words instead of worrying about every small detail. You can also make listening easier by using English subtitles in a smart way. When you watch a video, try using English subtitles instead of subtitles in your own language. This allows your brain to connect the sound of the word with the written form. For example, when you hear a word like enough, the spelling may look very different from the sound, but when you both hear and read the word at the same time, your brain begins to understand the connection between pronunciation and spelling. And finally, remember that improvement takes time. Listening is a skill that grows slowly, just like building muscle. At first, it may feel difficult and you may understand only a small amount. But if you listen regularly and practice patiently, your brain will gradually adapt to the sounds of English. One day, you will suddenly notice something surprising. Sentences that once sounded fast and confusing will start to feel clear and natural. Let's quickly review what we learned today. To improve your English listening, remember to listen every day, choose topics you enjoy, practice with the same audio more than once, focus on key words instead of every word, and use English subtitles to support your learning. If you follow these simple steps and practice regularly, your listening skills will become stronger and more natural over time. Thank you so much for joining me today on the JISH Learn English Podcast. If you found this lesson helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my future lessons. Keep practicing, believe in yourself, and see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye!